Good day, everyone, and welcome to my State of the Town update. Bonjour tout le monde. I would like to acknowledge an historical shared presence of Indigenous nations throughout the area and recognize its original inhabitants as the stewards of its lands and waters since time immemorial. It has been 2 years since we were elected, and every single day is a pleasure and honor to serve as Mayor of Mattawa. To my colleagues on Town Council, your commitment to our town is instrumental in shaping the progress we have made over the past 2 years. I am grateful for your presence and continued partnership as we work together to build a brighter future for Mattawa. A special thank you to all town staff for your dedication and hard work. It is your effort, often behind the scenes, which has helped us to bring the initiatives that I will be speaking about to life and to ensure our town runs smoothly. Mattawa is a beautiful place to live, work, and play. We are a town built on strength, resilience, and unity. Mattawa must remain a town where people want to build their careers and families, helping us to grow our economy and strengthen our community. We are committed. Over the next few years, we will continue to prioritize housing opportunities. These actions reflect our deep care for the well-being of all our residents. Good health is not just about physical well-being. It's about mental, emotional, and social health too. Mattawa se doit de demeurer un endroit où les gens peuvent bâtir leur carrière et famille. Ceci nous aidera à faire évoluer notre économie et à renforcer notre municipalité. Dorion Road Hill Reconstruction. The Dorion Hill Reconstruction tender closed on June 6th. There were 5 applicants and the submissions were open on June 10th. Council awarded the contract for the Dorion Hill Reconstruction Project to Canor Construction, Inc. in the amount of $2,861,172. This amount is within the ICIP funding envelope, for which the federal and provincial governments share amounts to $2,670,427, or 93.33%. And the town share is $190,745, or 6.67%. The 2024 budget included an estimate of the town share of the project cost at $133,333. The balance of the town share will be recorded in the 2025 budget. The contract started July 8th and is to occur over 2 construction seasons, with the estimated completion of construction scheduled for October 15th, 2025. Municipal Disaster Recovery Assistance, MDRA. The Matawan Street Reconstruction tender closed on May 8th. There were 5 applicants, and the submissions were open in the afternoon of May 9th. Council awarded the Matawan Street Reconstruction Project to Kenelex Construction Company in the amount of $668,570 plus taxes. Construction began at the end of May and was substantially completed by the end of October. This amount is within the MDRA funding envelope, for which the province covers almost 94%. Connecting Links programs. The funding delivered through this program helps maintain vital roads and bridges. Main Street, Highway 533, is vital to the town of Mattawa as it represents our downtown and runs through the heart of our community. We are grateful to the Connecting Links program, for which will allow us to create the design and the engineering needed to modernize our main street. The total cost of the detailed engineering and environmental assessment was $329,436 plus taxes, with 90% provided by the province and 10% from the municipality. Following the completion of the environmental assessment and engineering design, the project will be tendered. Safe and reliable roads and bridges are vital links that connect people to jobs and housing and make it easier for them to get where they need to go. That is why the town of Mattawa has applied to intake 10 through the Ministry of Transportation's 2025-26 Connecting Links program. If successful, this grant is also subsidized at 90% by the province and 10% from the municipality towards the environmental assessment and detailed structural review for the rehabilitation of the Pont Marie Belanger Bridge. Municipal Land Bank Area Number 1. The Ontario government announced funding for the new Housing Enabling Water System Fund, the HEWSF. The program targets critical water projects to help unlock more housing in Ontario. The first intake of HEWSF received significant interest with over 200 applications received, requesting more than $2.5 billion in provincial support. On August 7th, Ontario announced the allocation of $970 million to 54 projects across 60 municipalities under HEWSF. Due to the high demand for funding, Ontario is investing in an additional $250 million in a second intake of applications, which opened August 14th. The second intake is available to municipalities that were either unsuccessful or did not apply during the first round. We have reapplied. The town's official plan was created in 1984 and revised once in 1991. The development of the Municipal Land Bank Area Number 1 is currently not reflected in the official plan. We are applying for various funding for the municipality, including water infrastructure funding for the Dorion Road development area, and the funders need confirmation that these projects are listed in the asset management plan and align with the official plan. This is problematic because the official plan is not up to date. In addition to the tree clearing contract along Dorion Road, we cleared an easement between light industrial lots 6 and 7 to the area where the new water reservoir is to be located. We deployed our public works staff to clear cut this easement. Dedicated fiber optic internet at Town Hall. From DSL to fiber, town staff are now able to use modern services on the internet like a phone system, information systems and their backups, and video calls. More bandwidth for working digitally, less waiting, more productivity. Streaming quality is improved, but our final solution is not yet in place. Rosemount Valley Suites. Starting in 2020 and until its completion in early 2022, Council invested $6 million in the renovation of Rosemount Valley Suites, RVS. Affordable senior housing had been considered a significant need, and Council of the Day consented to the purchase of the former Algonquin nursing home property and the subsequent renovation. RVS opened its doors in the spring of 2022 with a full complement and a waiting list far in excess of capacity. From the very beginning, the plan was to get the place up and running and to turn it over and or sell the facility to a third-party housing operator. Since the fall of 2023, town staff have sought and met with potential buyers who would be interested in maintaining the affordable housing model while considering expansion possibilities. As of this date, the facility remains in the hands of the town as we continue to negotiate with potential investors. John Dixon Public Library. The public library operated out of F.J. McElligott High School. The relationship with the school was strained at best. Our CAO met with the library CEO to discuss the futility of the contract arrangements with their landlord. At the core of the issue is that the school was not respecting the lease agreement. not even the spirit of the agreement. The CAO connected with school officials, and after a few discussions, was directed to the superintendent of education. And after a few meetings with the superintendent, it became obvious that the partnership had reached a stalemate. It was not that the school did not want to be a good partner. It is just that the operations of a school, their hours of operations, policies and procedures, did not align with the operations of a public library, and they believe it should never have occurred in the first place. We agreed that the best thing for all was that the library should find a new home. Let us be clear that the town has made an historical annual financial contribution of approximately $100,000 per year, despite the fact that no formal agreements exist. It is also important to note that the town does not operate the library. It falls under the Public Library Act. We must also recognize that the town has set a precedent for providing annual funding, and the library expectations of receiving and depending on that funding. Equally as important, we must consider the town's own needs and the fact that if we support everybody else, we have lost the capacity to invest in our own projects. The John Dixon Public Library Board has been meeting and working towards a unified vision of what the future of the library could look like. To make it clear, the John Dixon Public Library is temporarily closed. The landlord, Near North District School Board, and the library board could not come to terms agreeable to both parties, and as such, the lease was not renewed beyond July 31st. The town agreed to use its workforce to help move the library into suitable safe storage and to set aside $25,000 to cover moving, storage, and other costs. The town also agreed to work with the museum to explore space sharing opportunities and to prepare and submit an OTF seed grant application that focuses on the feasibility of having the library at the museum building. The grant application, once completed, was submitted on June 26th. During the application process, the town met with the museum board and discussed the pros and cons of having the library at the museum building. One of the issues given rise to the lack of financial support from neighboring communities is the fact that they do not have a voice on any library matters. With the library being temporarily closed, we have created a stakeholder group to work together to help form the new library, the model for which is being developed by the library board. The town of Mattawa has contributed $68,300 for 2024 and has agreed to contribute an additional $25,000 for costs related to closure, move, and storage fees. This brings the town of Mattawa's total contribution to the library to $93,500 for 2024. The town has also contributed in-kind support, including the cost of the audit, the preparation and submission of the OTFC grant application, and the use of its own workforce to move the library into and subsequently out of storage. Mattawa Voyageur Days. The council approved the $450,000 budget for the 2024 Voyageur Days and directed staff to organize and to keep them advised. This was the 25th anniversary of Voyageur Days, and staff presented a 25th anniversary festival that promoted new and potentially bigger attractions. From a tourism perspective, the committee wanted to have an event that promoted Mattawa's heritage, an event for families with family activities. In the spirit of these guiding principles, there were no repeat of any of the paid performance acts. After 24 years, a giving back to the community mentality was adopted, where family events were provided at no cost to families. The committee worked with the Algonquins and the Métis to have a group perform an opening ceremony on the Friday evening and the other a closing ceremony late Sunday afternoon. New Ontario Brewery promoted one of their beers featuring Mattawa 25th Anniversary Voyageur Days label, a collector's item. The beers was on sale at Explorers Point and Annie's Park during the Voyageur Days weekend. In addition, we received $70,000 in provincial funding, which provided a significant cushion for the festival. Council will also approve an increase of the original $450,000 budget in the amount of $25,000 for a total budget of $475,000 for the 2024 Mattawa Voyageur Days Festival. Spectacular weather brought residents and tourists in droves for the 25th anniversary event. Many individuals have commented enthusiastically and favorably on the lineup, the activities, the event, and of course, the fabulous weather. Overall, total spending was $453,167 on an approved budget of $475,000. Approximately $43,000 were for events that people paid to attend under normal circumstances. It is fair to say that the town benefited from the festival and it was well celebrated. The event had a loss of $44,811, and this will be covered by Voyageur Days surpluses carried forward from previous years. Voyageur Days 2025. Entertainment was switched around for this year. First, by bringing back the 3-night performance. This year, rock will take center stage on Friday night with a 4-show performance. Saturday night will feature 4 country bands, including major Canadian artists. Sunday will close out the festival with 3 fantastic classic rock tribute bands, which will lead into a fabulous firework display. We have announced our lineup for 2025 and tickets are available for sale. We have changed our ticket pricing strategy to include day pricing as per popular demand. Early bird ticket price was $69 for either Friday or Saturday night and $49 for Sunday night. Weekend early bird prices were $89. Trillium Venture Exercise. The Canadian Armed Forces, CAF, partnered with the town of Mattawa to conduct a mock emergency exercise, officially known as Trillium Venture Exercise. The CAF performed similar exercises around the province the same weekend, May 3rd to May 5th, to promote their involvement in disaster relief. The CAF performed a tabletop emergency exercise focusing on the flood as the disaster event and deployed approximately 200 individuals, mostly Army reserves. There were also several military upper echelon individuals in attendance. Participation with representatives from Emergency Management Ontario, the OPP Mobile Command, and our own fire department was on full display at Explorers Point. Mission control was set up at Mike Rodden Arena, where the troops slept and meals were served. Doriel Road was the site of a chainsaw exercise for the reserves. Ontario Provincial Police. The Mattawa and Area Police Service Board has been dissolved as of April 1st and replaced by a new OPP detachment board. This is occurring across the province. The new format is created under provincial legislation and has 1 councillor from each of the 4 communities, Mattawa, Papineau-Cameron, Calvin, and Matawan, plus 1 at-large person and a provincial appointee. The OPP provided the town of Mattawa with its budget request for 2025, an increase of $154,448 or 29%. This would have represented a 6.7 increase in the general taxation. We are aware that Roma and AMO have their policy advisors working on this file and are advocating on our behalf. The town of Mattawa is grateful to the Ontario government for providing immediate relief for the 2025 budgeting purposes. The total billing statement that was initially provided to the Office of the Solicitor General for 2025, inclusive of the increases resulting from the new collective agreement, was $685,495. Today's proposed billing changes will provide an estimated $103,885 in financial relief for our municipality in 2025 to $581,611. The province confirmed that it will also be examining options for reviewing the OPP billing model to ensure that it meets the needs of communities across the province. Mattawa Council passed a resolution calling on the province to immediately implement sustainable funding for small urban and rural communities by reabsorbing the cost of the Ontario Provincial Police back into the provincial budget with no recoveries to the municipalities. Castle Home. The Long-Term Care Act 2007 provides for the establishment of boards of management for long-term care homes in territorial districts in Ontario. Schedule 4 of Ontario 791110 of the Long-Term Care Homes Act sets the legislative requirements for the Board of Management of Castle Home, the East Nipissing District Home for the Aged. There are more than 600 long-term care homes in Ontario, and only 6 of them are legislated to be directed by a Board of Management. For many years now, certain municipalities under the Board of Management of Castle Home have requested the ministry not only to amend the act, but to release our municipalities entirely from the act. We have been patient and waiting for a response. We need the ministry to deal with the Castle Home debacle for the last time. I am sure that other concerned municipalities are looking forward to the ministry taking a deep dive and resolving the issue. Policies and procedures. The Policies and Procedures Working Group has been working on the Council Governance Policies and Procedures since 2023. All the policies were approved by Council, and the group continued working on the procedures. The working group has now completed all the governance policies and procedures, which are combined into one package. This document was formally approved and adopted by Council, and staff will create the new procedure bylaw from the policies drafted in this document. Council has also approved the administrative policies that the group has been working on that will cover how administration conducts business. Once these policies were approved, the working group changed, removing the members of Council from the group, as all policies that required Council input are complete. The procedures that follow the policies will be created by the administration staff with the leadership of the CAO. Standing committees and Council vacancy. On January 9, 2023, Council approved in principle the new standing committees of Council, where the existing 14 standing committees were condensed into 3. A review was recommended for a later date. On February 20th, 2024, Council received a report containing a notice of proposed changes to the standing committees. This review was conducted by the head of Council and the clerk. The proposed changes were to further reduce the standing committees from 3 to 2, being corporate services and community services. With the realignment of staff and the creation of the Director of Community Service position, it seemed fitting to combine the Public Services and Community Services Committee into one and rearrange committee responsibilities. Another change was to reduce the number of members from 4 to 3 on each committee. This change was proposed with the intention of not having a quorum of Council bringing recommendations forward to Council potentially knowing that a majority had already approved it. Further delay in standing committee meetings was the council vacancy resulting from the resignation of Councillor Sarrazin, which obligated council to fill the vacancy for the remainder of the term. Under section 262(1) of Municipal Act 2001, council must declare seat vacant by its next regular meeting after the notice was received, being April 9th. On Monday, April 22nd, council declared seat vacant and chose to fill the vacancy by way of applications from the residents of the community and to hold a special meeting to appoint such member. The interviews were done in an open forum for accountability and transparency, and council got the vote by ballot, and the successful candidate was Spencer Bigelow. The timing was perfect opportunity to decide if we either continue with the standing committee structure or to change course and shift the responsibilities to the committee of the whole. The majority of council wished to dissolve the standing committee structure and to deal with items through the committee of the whole. The council of the town of Mattawa tabled bylaw 24-19, which is a bylaw to repeal the standing committees of council bylaw number 24-06. Surprisingly, this was defeated by council, which means that the standing committees of council will resume under bylaw number 24-06. On October 28th, the following elected members were appointed to the standing committees of council. Corporate Services Committee, Deputy Mayor Matthew Gardner, Councillors Laura Ross and Gary Thiebaert. Community Services Committee, Councillors Fern Levike, Lauren Mick, and Spencer Bigelow. Municipal staff. Council agreed to hire a Director of Corporate Services, a DCS. The posting was approved by the hiring committee and was open for a 2-week period, closing March 15th. There were 8 applicants and the interviews were scheduled for March 20th, and the committee recommended a candidate for the position. Council approved Dexter Sarrazin as the new Director of Community Services. The executive assistant EA position had been vacant since November of 2023. In the new staffing model, this position was combined with the communication coordinator contract position, with the understanding the contract commission would be extended until such time as the new EA position was filled. The communication coordinator contract position ended July 26th. Interviews for the EA position were held on July 3rd, and the hiring committee recommended a candidate for the position. Council approved Melody Byers as the new executive assistant. Subsection 229 of Municipal Act 201 provides that the council of the town of Mattawa may pass a bylaw to appoint a chief administrative officer who shall be responsible for exercising general control and management of the affairs of the municipality for the purpose of ensuring the efficient operation of the municipality and performing such other duties as are assigned by the municipality. Subsection 286(1) of the Municipal Act 2001 requires that a council of the town of Mattawa shall appoint a treasurer who is responsible for handling all the financial affairs of the municipality on behalf of and in the manner directed by the council of the municipality. On November 25th, the council of the town of Mattawa approved the hiring of Paul Laperrière as the full-time chief administrative officer and treasurer. On July 8th, council approved bylaw number 24-18, being a bylaw to appoint a full-time fire chief in the town of Mattawa. Section 6(1) of the Fire Protection and Prevention Act 1997, Chapter 4, requires that the council of a municipality that has established a fire department shall appoint a fire chief for the fire department. Sean Hongel's official start date as full-time fire chief of the town of Mattawa Fire Department was effective August 6th. Municipal fleet. The town of Mattawa in recent years has not had a consistent approach to the replacement of rolling stock and non-core assets in general. This lack of consistency often leads to surprises, and the result is often unexpected expenses. Some of the vehicles in the town's fleet were old, unsafe, and undependable. We have been looking at replacement vehicles, both new and used, and have purchased the following to complement the municipal fleet. A 2021 Ford Escape for $25,000 plus HST and licensing. The vehicle is in great shape and only has 35,000 kilometers. A 2024 Ford F-150 XL 4x4 Super Crew truck in the amount of $49,999 plus HST and licensing over 60 months at 4.99 financing. A 2024 Ford F-150 4x4 Super Crew truck in the amount of $53,420 plus HST and licensing over 60 months at 4.99% financing, the payments for which will begin in the 2025 fiscal year. Both 2019 Ford F-150s are now paid in full, and the payments for these trucks are now complete. Both the 2010 Ford Ranger and the 2012 Ford F-150 XLT were declared surplus and to be disposed of in alignment with our disposition of asset policy. Mattawa Fire Department. The fire department needed replacement of the self-contained breathing apparatus, SCBA. The department had to remove another SCBA after training exercise due to equipment failure. They were down to 7 usable units. That is, if no more of the units failed. The need to update these units could no longer wait due to the rate of failure and conditions of the units. It was no longer viable to make repairs for these units due to the significant cost of such repairs. It was in the best interest of the municipality to replace the units. Council approved the purchase of the SCBA's in the amount of $123,968 plus HST. Since August, a full review of the fire department has been occurring and continues with what is required to have a full equipment and staffing. The Mattawa Fire Department has never had proper uniforms when conducting themselves as municipal employees. The purchase of a proper uniform for each member to wear when conducting inspections, recruiting, and public relations would look more professional to our fire department. Council approved the purchase of uniforms at an upset limit of $5,000 in the 2024 budget. The Mattawa Fire Department has utilized the entire town for weekly training and did not have an area or facility dedicated to this vital service. The fire chief, along with staff, want to create a solution and suitable area that could house a burn can, a 40-foot sea can converted into a situation room and left at the site permanently. The lagoon site was chosen. The Firefighters Association is purchasing the burn can at an approximate cost of $12,000, so there is no cost to the town. Once in place, our fire department main training of fire activities will be conducted at this site with a plan of doubling up as a regional training site, which would be beneficial to Mattawa and area. Town logo. As we shift to improving our digital presence, it is important for the town of Mattawa to have a logo that can be versatile on print media, digital media, and as a brand that can be worn, shown, and something future generations can apply. In recent years, the town has attempted to rebrand using the services of a company, and this process was arduous, divisive, and created a process that felt more like Groundhog Day than a positive opportunity to redefine our brand. Enter the vectorization process, a process graphic designers use to take a dated logo and digitize it. The process was simple. Take the current logo, keep the principles the same, and give it a fresh coat of paint, a little twinkle, and some digital charms. The new logo has the same elements: the mountains, the bridges, the sky, the water, and the canoe. In the full color logo, the canoe is red and symbolic of the work of our community and those in it. On the canoe is the Experience Mattawa leaf. As we have come to see, the community loves the Experience Mattawa brand, and a simple touch of this brand in our logo is clever and fitting. The color of the water is also the same color code used in Experience Mattawa brand. The logo vectorization cost is $1,795. As the print inventory depletes, the new logo will be used. As clothing is provided to staff, the logo will be used. Where the old logo is present, it will be updated as soon as possible. Municipal website. The new logo will be used on the website, which is due to roll out soon. A fresh new look and feel, refreshed logo and colors, a brand that will become more visible. This new and improved site can be considered as a virtual front door for the town of Mattawa, a one-stop shop to find everything governance, tourism, economic development, business, and for local citizens. It will provide the option for people to receive their service online and allows for everyone to access services when and where it is convenient for them. A good example is making your fire permit application online. Schedule of fees. The last time the schedule of user fees was completely updated was in 2017. Since then, some schedules have changed and others have gone unchanged. There was a huge gap when each of the fees schedule were last changed. Therefore, an overhaul was necessary. From the way our fees are charged to how much or how little they increase or decrease, the town of Mattawa was not in line with other communities our size in many areas. This can have many impacts on how we do business. Being a small town that offers the services of a typical town with a larger population, services are often sought in Mattawa. Access to the arena, landfill, fitness center, curling club, information center, library, and services at town hall are used by many in the region. The user fees from these services that are charged directly to the user must be at market for us to see a balance in the quality, availability, and offering of our services. In 2025, we are hoping to increase the dialogue with our neighboring municipalities to revise the formula that has not been looked at in over 25 years for user-related fees. However, we needed to move forward with the approval of user fees and adjust from there. 2024 municipal operating budget and 22 and 23 financial audits. On April 15th, the 2024 municipal budget was presented to council and proposed a year-over-year increase to the tax levy of $58,240 or 2.5% increase. On June 24th, council approved bylaw number 24-13, being a bylaw to adopt the 2024 municipal operating budget. In the absence of Treasury function staff for a significant part of 2023, the 2022 audit could not proceed as normal. With the 2022 audit not being completed, the 2023 audit could not begin. In 2024, with both the treasurer and the deputy treasurer having been hired in the latter half of 2023, both the 2022 and 2023 audits were completed and presented to council for approval in November and December 2024, respectively. During their audit for 2022, Baker Tilly, the town's auditors, documented 7 areas of internal control weaknesses. The new Treasury staff have implemented measures to compensate for those areas of concern to the satisfaction of the auditors during their audit of 2023. Water and wastewater. The annual water and wastewater rates have historically been presented to council in February of each year to allow for the preparation and issuance of water billing. Water and wastewater rates are calculated based on a full recovery model such that generated revenues are sufficient to meet net operating expenses. The water capital financial plan prepared by our auditors, Baker Tilly, was adopted by council in 2019, recommended a 3% annual increase in alignment with the 10-year plan. This recommendation has been and continues to be implemented. The Ontario Clean Water Agency, who are contracted to operate the water and wastewater treatment systems for the municipality, have provided major maintenance recommendations for 2024 to 2029, the end of the 10-year plan. Firework bylaw. Council requested the creation of a bylaw prohibiting both the sale and setting off fireworks within the municipality. A report and draft bylaw were created and presented at the Corporate Services Committee meeting of Monday, October 2nd, 2023. The corporate committee members reviewed the draft bylaw and were in approval, but wanted the draft bylaw circulated to our surrounding municipalities to make them aware and for their support. Staff was directed to create an educational package and return to council for further discussion. The Ministry of the Attorney General reviewed the draft bylaw only as far as it relates to the proposed fine application. Council approved the bylaw in principle and directed staff to return for formal adoption. Recycling. All existing residential blue box programs in Ontario will move to a single provincial collection system that is fully funded, overseen, and operated by producers of recycling materials. Producers are those that supply blue box materials made up of paper, glass, metal, plastic, or a combination of these materials to consumers. Previously, gross costs of residential recycling collection programs were split approximately 50-50 between municipalities, you the taxpayers, and producers of blue box recycling materials. Under the new full producer's responsibility framework, Circular Materials will administer and manage contracts to collect and receive blue box materials. Mattawa's transition date is October 1, 2025. Circular Materials will contract with a major recycling collector who will arrange for the blue box collection either by themselves or through a subcontractor. Residential properties should not expect a change to their collection date or collection frequency because Circular Materials must maintain current service levels during the transition period. On January 1, 2026, Circular Materials can update the service and will be responsible for informing residents. Changes, such as items collected, may be added to the Blue Box program, which were previously not accepted. After September 30th, 2025, the town will no longer pay for private recycling collection And since the funds received by the province are much less than the collection cost, the town will benefit from this arrangement. Conclusion. Working together will remain our guiding principle as we continue to explore housing opportunities, connect residents with the services they need to thrive, and champion our local economy. Pour ceux et celles qui préfèrent une description de ce discours en français, veuillez en faire une demande à l'Hôtel de Ville et je serai très heureux de vous accueillir. I am proud of what we have accomplished, and I am excited about the future. But we have much more to achieve, and I know that we are on the right path to growth and success for our community. In closing, I want to thank each of you for your continued support and belief in our shared future. I am confident we will overcome the challenges ahead and create an even stronger, healthier Mattawa. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Miigwech.